Hi, Aries Sun and Rising. Welcome to your January 2024 Astro Update. It's Raina here. So, I know that if there's a sign that loves the new year, it has to be Aries people. And I'm speaking, primarily of Aries sun sign because that's going to be such a big part of your personality. But the reason I say that is because you are the first sign of the zodiac and the first house, and you start a new cycle in astrology, your house. And so Aries people love starting new things. So for sure, this year, um, when it starts in January is going to be something that you are there for. And Aries people also have a particular importance in 2024 because you have eclipses in your sign. So that is really shaking things up for Aries people, for Libra people, for all of us in one area or another, but definitely for those people who have Aries sun arising. And so, anyway, January is great because we're going to start to see that we can move forward without retrogrades kind of like slowing things down, making us go within. Going within is awesome, but sometimes you just want to power ahead. I'm sure Aries people can feel me on that. So, anyway, we start the month with Mercury going direct at 22 degrees of Sagittarius, which is a fellow fire sign, and the eighth house. So, when Mercury went retrograde, and just full disclosure, I'm recording this before Mercury goes retrograde, which happens on December 13th for anyone who is listening before January. So it goes retrograde in Capricorn, and then it goes back into Sagittarius, and then goes direct in Sagittarius on the first of the month. So the houses that it has gone through during the Mercury retrograde are the 10th houses and then the ninth house. Now, the 10th house is the house of career for you, and then the ninth house is the God house, which has to do with more of the philosophical side of life, the higher mind, and ethical your ethical framework. Okay. Now, why would Mercury travel between those two houses? And also, by the way, when I think of travel, that could also be in play here as well. I'll just say that because the ninth house is the house of long distance travel. So, in terms of ethics, when you have Mercury retrograde in the 10th house, you're rethinking something that is connected with your career. And yes, there are some people that do think about uh, their life as it pertains to their career. They don't just do things willy nilly. They really believe that career matters are important. So, I mean, um, doing something that is ethical is important. And this might be something that has to do with the fact that Chiron is in Aries, has been for years. And first of all, that may have made some or a lot of Aries people very sensitive, or a lot more sensitive than you typically are. And also, even opening to the idea of becoming a healer as your profession. But what can happen, I think this is something that happens in general, is that people who want to become healers, they may think that healing equals the medical field. And so they run and become nurses or, doctors too. But of course, that is, quite extensive. But some kind of thing where you're in the mainstream medical industry. And then what can transpire is that they find that it's not what they were bargaining for or with, or it wasn't what they were expecting, and that it isn't what they want. It wasn't the end result that they were looking for. And so then they go into spiritual healing, which can be like energy healing, such as Reiki and shamanic healing, which really encompasses so much transformation in a person's life and things like that. And so you may be on a journey like that, but there might be something where the wheels are starting to turn and you're starting to ask yourself the important questions as it pertains to the work that you do. Or even if you're, I mean, honestly, the 10th house can be career, but it could be like thinking about career matters with Mercury there. So the ninth house can be academia or higher education, college, university. So that could be somebody who's a college student who like kind of changes course and goes in a different direction. Maybe you're majoring in something that you just go, whoa, I don't think I can do this. This is kind of a system that is broken. In some cases, if it's like a traditional career path, you may find that you just do not want to do it. And this can go across the board, whether it's in the medical community, whether it's in teaching, journalism, all of those things have seen so much corruption in that people who really had passion for these areas, some of them have just left in disgust, or they have created their own version of whatever it is that they were trained for, and they do it themselves and they can feel good about it. So just wanted to talk about that. And so Mercury goes direct on the 1st, and on the 4th, Mars goes into that 10th house, into Capricorn. So Mars in the 10th house, that's your ruler, Aries. And Mars is very like aggressive, ambitious, energetic, wanting to kind of just make things happen. So in the 10th house, that can lead to a person just going for it. And you have to be careful because since you are Aries, you're already probably aggressive, and the 10th house can be authority figures. So you have to be careful that you're not clashing with authority figures and being very, rebellious against them. Even if somebody is trying to get you to do something that you think is wrong and you're pushing back, remember that they are, you can catch more flies with honey, that you don't have to meet aggression with aggression. But you can get a lot done when Mars is in the 10th house because you have a lot of even physical energy to accomplish it. On the 11th, we have a new moon at 20 degrees of Capricorn, again in that 10th house of career. So, this isn't like, beyond the pale because these are personal planets, and so they typically are close to the sun. But this time last year, Mars was not in Capricorn. It was actually in Gemini. It was far away from Capricorn. So this may feel very to have Mars back in that 10th house may feel awesome. And then to have a new moon here can feel awesome too. Maybe there are new developments happening in your career sector. Oh, yeah. And then you have Pluto, which has, which retrograded back here too. So, I can't forget that. On the 13th, Mercury goes back into that 10th house. So, it's loading up there. This is career mojo in January for Aries people, and including Pluto, that is not just the typical, the usual suspects that you would find in your 10th house in January. Um, uh, on the 20th, the Sun and Pluto go into Aquarius, into the 11th house. And this can also be, the 11th house are your hopes and wishes. So these things can be things that you really want to manifest. But also, it's the house of gains, and Pluto in this 11th house can actually confer wealth as it pertains to your career or business earnings. And this can also be a time of making friends with powerful people as well, with Pluto in the 11th house. On the 23rd, Venus goes into Capricorn. Oh my goodness gracious. So Pluto left, but Venus comes in, and Venus can bring money. So you may get a raise. It could be some kind of situation where you charm your, I was going to say you charm your way to the top, but actually you can have people in positions of authority who want to help you because you're so adorable. And I'm not just talking about your physical appearance. I'm talking about there's some charm that you're exuding for some reason, Aries. On the 25th, we have a full moon at 5 degrees of Leo. This is a fellow fire sign, and this is the fifth house of love, creativity, pleasure, fun stuff to do. Full moon here can be also, what do you call it? Conceiving children. So, Aries people, if you are getting busy, if the fifth house can be recreational sex, realize that babies can be conceived, and this is a very fertile full moon for you in this particular house. But this can be birthing creative ideas, ideas for a business. Love can be blooming. On the 27th, Uranus goes direct at 19 degrees of Taurus. This is your second house of earned income. So you also have Jupiter here. So you have Uranus and Jupiter. This is really great for money to just kind of come out of nowhere. Some of you are earning money through technology, either online or through working remotely. But yeah, I mean, this is a wild card energy, but can really be great. When you least expect it, you might just hit the jackpot. Not encouraging anybody to gamble, just talking about, attracting and working towards, a lot of money, perhaps. So just like if you have cryptocurrency, you might find that it is worth a lot more than before. Who knows? But some of you have been investing in cryptocurrency since Uranus has been in the second house. This is Taurus's domain, so there is that connection uh, with the second house, and I mean with Taurus and money, and that's what Uranus, this transit is really speaking about electronic currency. And, it goes into more than that, but I'm not going to get into that for this particular video because that involves the collective and not just you. So, anyway, I hope that you enjoyed this, Aries. If you would like a private reading, please check out my package deals. One of them is called the deep dive reading, and it's an hour of natal chart analysis, an hour of transits for a special price. That special price is $85.85 US dollars, and it's, for 2 hours of reading. And I have other kinds of standalone readings, including love and career readings. You can find out more information at the link below. I'm at rainandmoonastrology.com. Thank you for listening. Bye.